All right, so today I'm going to be refuting the claim that a vegetarian lifestyle and diet has substantial benefits for Americans. The advocate separates his claim into three major parts with many subparts. The first being that a vegetarian diet promotes an increase in physical health. The second being that a vegetarian diet reduces the negative impact on the environment. And the third being that a vegetarian diet is just the most practical one for the average American today. So the advocate defines, although not specifically or very thoroughly, the standard American diet to consist of a burger and fries for lunch, which I can only assume would be just eating fast food almost every day. The definition is severely lacking, leaving me to have to extrapolate what he meant by that. So by that definition of the American diet, the advocates claim that vegetarian diets are providing substantial benefits is not really something that can be argued. There's no argument there. It's like saying that it's better to eat a fresh apple rather than rotten meat. However, I'm going to go through the rest of his points just to show that there are other ways that we could get his desired results. So the first claim being that vegetarian diets promote physical health. The risk of health problems such as heart disease or other foodborne illnesses that you can get from meats could, of course, be eliminated if you cut meat entirely. But you don't have to do that. You could get your meats from better sources that were farmed from better locations and in better practices, but you don't need to remove meat entirely from your diet. The second being that we don't get enough nutrients and minerals from our foods. Just by going vegetarian, it would force you to eat more of these foods that are giving you vitamins and minerals, all those things. But you don't have to become a vegetarian to be able to eat those foods. You can still be eating meat and get those nutrients by adding and supplementing your diet with vegetables and other things. So increases in general physical health was his third sub-point of this one. There would be vegetarian diets. Vegetarians do usually exercise more and do generally healthier things, but just because they're vegetarians, that's not the only reason. Anyone can eat more nutritious foods, exercise more, and generally be a couch potato less. And red meat is actually quite nutritious. According to healthline.com, red meat contains numerous vitamins and minerals, including iron, which is sometimes difficult to get from plant-based foods, and vitamin B12, which is virtually unattainable from plant-based foods. Moving on to the environment, how becoming a vegetarian would help the environment more. The advocate claims that more bycatch is caught than regular fish in our fishing practices, but according to oceana.org, bycatch in the US only accounts for at most 22% of the total amount of fish caught, and worldwide it's closer to about 40%. Of course, if we stopped eating harmful meat, or if we stopped eating meat or fish entirely, these harmful fishing practices or farming techniques, factory farms and the like, would stop because there's no need to produce it anymore. However, that's like saying that if everyone stopped driving cars, there would be no more car accidents. One thing naturally follows the other. There's no real argument there. However, it doesn't mean that we should stop driving cars or eating meat. On the topic of deforestation, we do cut down and remove many forests in order to make room for new meat farms and the like, but just stopping the eating of meat would not stop this progress, or this process, I guess. As population centers grow, as populations grow, they will be moving into new areas and using these forests for other reasons, continuing the deforestation. It's not exactly a problem that we can attribute only to meat. And lastly, his third claim that being a vegetarian is the most practical diet for today's lifestyle is simply not true. In order for it to be practical, it needed to be fairly easy and cheap for everyone to get to, but many people are not able to spend the time or the money to get these vegetarian meals under their belt that actually give them all the nutrients they need. And for many people, it's a necessity almost to go to these fast food restaurants or eat these quick and easy meals. In closing, the advocate's claim was more of an informative speech and less of an argument, but that doesn't mean that his claim should be dismissed. We could find a middle ground to achieve his goals anyway. And that's all the time I have.
Excellent, thank you, Jonathan. Okay, so as I understand, class is over at 3:45, right? And I understand he told me we're not gonna get through everybody today, right? The fact that we've done 10 of them is kind of a